Hi, ladies. Oh
Hi.
my goodness, everybody. Please meet my amazing friends. Please take a look at these queens living abroad. I'm Chaya Lev. And I'm in Israel, in Tel Aviv. This is my girl, Serene. And Serene is in Spain. And Nisha, she is in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah. We're going to talk about Black girls living abroad. So without further ado, whoever goes first. Sorry about the echo, guys. Serene, you take it.
I guess I wonder some things that people might want to know about living abroad. What are some common questions that you've received, either Haya or Nisha?
Well, first you're going to tell them who you are,
Haya, I'm
where you
sorry.
live, and then
Well, I just wanted to ask really quickly. You both sound robotic.
What?
We sound like robots, I feel.
oh, we do. Okay, hold on. Because Nisha, we don't have headphones.
For some reason my headphones aren't working, and it's really frustrating because I have them. I literally have them in with me, but they're not working. Um, okay, I'm gonna try again. Uh,
Let's
but
get this.
my name is Serene. My name is
And I have,
Serene. I am living in Spain. There's a town about 30 minutes away from Valencia called Sagunto. And this is my town. I actually went up on the mountain. That's the ocean. Ooh, this camera's a little. And then up on that hillside is the castle. So I live in between the mountains and the sea. And the old part of the town has 20,000 people. And the part right by the beach has another 50, so 70,000 people.
wow, amazing. Do you hear static?
I do. I hear a lot of static.
So maybe if you try to unplug your headphones,
Let me mute my mic and see if it's me.
is Nisha. Is it me?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
It's
I
Nisha.
don't.
Oh my God. Well, I'm just going to say I'm so excited to have you here. But everyone's
What do you say? Pardon me?
okay, Nisha, you have headphones?
Yes.
No, no. Let's all leave and come back like real black. Hold on, I'm gonna take you out. Okay, guys, listen. There's an issue. We got Nisha is from Saudi Arabia, and we have Serena um is from Spain. And we're all black girls living abroad, and we really want to share, but we're having an issue with sound. So you guys, please be. I'm gonna add first Nisha, who's from Saudi Arabia. Nisha,
Yes.
and and Serene from Spain. We're all over the world, and this is crazy. But I think it's you, Nisha. Hold on. Nisha, it's you. Put on headphones. You have? Oh, shit. Okay, great. Okay, Serene, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk one at a time. Okay? So I'm gonna put up this question. First of all, I wanna say welcome. Second of all, go.
I did I just say okay? Um, I became a mom. I became a mom of a Black boy living in the US. And then I became a mom again a couple years later. As my children got older, I started really realizing the gravity of being a Black parent in the US. And I have all boys. So I also started to realize the difficulty of being a Black man in the US, because as a mom, I'm looking out for every possible threat or obstacle for my children to better prepare them. And it was too many. It was too much. It was too severe. Even if they don't take your life, like actually you end up a victim of police brutality or other types of violence because of being Black, they can still take your life by doling out ridiculously long prison sentences, denying you employment opportunities. It really was, it was too much. It was too much to overcome, and it made the odds of being successful, not that it's impossible, of course it's possible, but it made the odds so much slimmer, and their life would have been so much more difficult. And for what? Why? So yeah, that's why we left. We left to give, it started as giving a better life to our children. And then after living abroad, I realized how much had weighed on me that I wasn't aware of. And being a minority in America, and how that colored everything from how I spoke during interviews, and how I dress, even my hair. I would wear wigs on interviews because I was natural. I was a loose natural. And it's just one of those things you kind of know. It doesn't mean you won't get the job, but there are people who would rather not hire you if that's how you look. So yeah, my hair now in the state of Georgia, where I'm from, they can deny me work because I have micro dreads. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but I have micro dreads, locks. A lot of people say locks, and having locks is actually in a lot of companies' handbooks as an unacceptable hairstyle. I will not be employed by them. So it's everything. It's the micromanaging of every aspect of your life. My husband and I, we were done. Sorry, long answer. Oh, Haya, your mic is muted, honey. I can't hear you. Haya.
Guys,
there you go.
Guys that are just joining, we're having difficulty with me. I'm echoing that for me. And I'm looking for head. So Serena is niche baby up. So please give. I'm gonna ask a bunch of questions. Let's go.
Okay, so oh wow. Quality of life. The life-work balance in Spain is unbelievable. We have so much built-in vacation time, and they're also extremely understanding of any family situations. I'm actually in an assistant position here. I'm a language assistant, a conversation assistant. So that means I only work 16 hours a week, which was hugely different than being in the medical field in the US and being a nurse and working supposedly 36 hours, usually 48 to 60. So I never saw my kids.
Okay.
We had enough money, but enough to survive. We weren't balling, we weren't doing fantastic, but we were doing well. We could travel a little bit. We had, a house, we were doing okay. But I never saw my family. I never had date night
Okay.
with my husband.
Okay.
Yeah, no, here, work-life balance, they respect that you work to live, you don't live to work.
Okay.
Is she
Nisha.
ready?
Hi, welcome Nisha guys from Saudi Arabia. She lives in Nisha, please answer this question.
Okay. Why did you decide to leave America? Well, well, growing up, I always knew I wanted to leave America and live abroad, but it also happened. Maybe I manifested it. I married a Saudi Arabian man, so that was like the catalyst to get me to leave America. My quality of life has changed on so many levels. I actually have lived in many places: Morocco, Egypt, and now Saudi Arabia. So, in Saudi Arabia, although it is a very conservative place to live, I do have a better quality of life here. I mean, you're not rushing to get to work in the morning. Things are a lot more affordable. I feel safe walking in the streets, even. I can go anywhere by myself and I'm not being harassed. Contrary to what you may think about Saudi Arabia, it's completely different. You know, I would never leave Saudi Arabia or live in America again because I enjoy my life in Saudi Arabia so much.
Guys, just a moment. I'll be muting mics as we talk. I have a bit of an echo. Headphones. So this question, something.
Who do you want to answer first? Me? Oh, okay. Something I wish I'd known before I moved abroad. I wish that I had known that there are a ton of resources for expats to meet other expats and things like this. I wish I had watched more of these podcasts or videos because things function so differently here that you don't even know what you don't know. Like I said, okay, I want to find an apartment in this area. So I looked online for prices of apartments in that area, thinking as long as I knew my budget, then that would be a great start. And I got here, there's no such thing as an apartment complex. They don't do that. So all of the houses are individually rented by the owners. So if there's a town you want to move to and no one that lives there wants to rent their house, you can't live there. Or if there's a size house you're looking for, because by that time we were a family of 5. We couldn't have done a 1-bedroom. A 2-bedroom would have been pushing it. So I didn't know that we would have had to found the right size in a town where someone's willing to rent an apartment. I didn't know that we had to register with our town first before enrolling the kids in school. If you can watch things like this or reach out to someone local in the area where you're going to move and get a chance to talk to them, there's just so many things that function so differently from the US that you won't have any idea of it until you talk to someone or until you get here. And if you get here and you find out our kids weren't in school until a month after we moved here because of all of the steps we had to take and being sent back and forth when by the next move, because we've moved 3 times since living here, they were in school within a week. So that, yeah, that's huge. Things like this are really helpful, and I recommend absorbing as much of this type of content as you can and talking to someone.
Thank you. What about you, Nisha?
Well, for
What about
me, I've
you?
been gone for almost 8 years, so I can't really remember. I think I remember mostly, like in retrospective, was the culture shock. But I am coming to like live in a new place, and I'm around people who don't usually speak English. Most of them speak Arabic from Morocco. Well, they speak French in Morocco as well. Egypt. I lived in Egypt for almost 2 years. I had one of my daughters abroad, and I've been in Saudi Arabia now for almost 4 or 5 years, I believe. So I think in retrospective, I would think the culture shock was the biggest thing for me and the biggest change from America, because obviously, you know, the Islamic world is so different from how we live in America. It governs how we live our daily life. Like even now, I'm still wearing a scarf. Now, am I Muslim? No, but I feel like this is my obligation because I do, and I am married to a Muslim man. So this was like the biggest change for me, like moving and still, I call it like multicultural life, you know? So still being respectful to who I am as a black girl, a southern black girl, but also being respectful to my husband and, you know, not trying to bring shame to his family. So for me, that would be the biggest thing.
That's so beautiful for me, living in Israel. Um, I understand. It's being respectful. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me? Okay. It's being respectful of the culture. I love this conversation. I love it because we're all unapologetically Black living abroad. And it's just so special to show people that our differences, we're actually connected with our differences. And that's what's different about living in the States. Your differences can actually harm you because everyone wants you to conform and it's no respect. And I will tell you, I know many Arabs and many Muslims, and there's so much respect there. So, Nisha, I can definitely second your motion. But we know in America, it's quite the opposite, right? So we're gonna keep asking questions. It sounds like I can't hear the echo anymore. I'm good without the echo. Okay, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. I really believe that to have this conversation is essential. Is to show other Black people living in the United States that it can be done. Because I know, Serene, you and I have talked about some Black people saying it's problems abroad. Of course, we're not trying to have perfection. We're trying to not be murdered in the streets. We're trying to allow our children to be children. We're trying to have a better quality of life. It is not perfection. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay? I'm looking for love, light, and unity. Let's ask another question.
If you don't mind if I add to that, it's not about looking for perfection. For us, it was about looking for the ability to thrive and survive. Like nowhere is going to be perfect, but the chances of having even a good life in the US, the income disparities that are happening, everything. It's people ask me all the time. They say, do you like it better here or do you like it better in the States? Because they can't believe it. The American dream has been like spoon fed to them in movies and media and television. And they think it's so glamorous and it's so amazing. And I said, well, it doesn't matter what I think. It's better here. What do you mean? Healthcare system is ranked higher by the World Health Organization. The education rankings in here are higher than in any subject in the United States overall. Crime is lower. Gun violence is almost non-existent. affordability of housing. I bought a house here after living here for a couple of years, and they don't even have traditional credit scores if I were a citizen or a resident. Like the ability to just live. It's not about perfection. It's about I'm trying to live. Oh, I can't hear you. Hiya, we can't hear you.
What about Nisha? Nisha, what do you think? Oh, Nisha, you're muted.
Sorry. Yes, I pretty much agree with everything that was already stated, and I think it's safe to leave it there.
I like it. Okay, ladies, what about this one? Serene?
I can take it. Something that surprised me was the cultural differences within the country. When from a U.S. standpoint, somebody says, "Oh, I'm moving to Spain." When I first thought about it, my first thought was flamenco dancers and paella and tapas and sangria and just beaches and sunshine, and that was it. And only Spanish. When I came here, we didn't even move to the part of Spain that has any of that I mentioned. We moved to the Basque Country, which is in the north, on the border with France, and it was mountains and green. I mean, super crazy green that like I never would have thought. And they don't speak Spanish only. In fact, the children had to learn Basque to go to school. Like all of the classes are in Basque except for Spanish class and English class. And Basque is not even related to Spanish. Like Spanish, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Basque, bat, bi, iru. Thank you, escaricasco. Totally different. It's not related to any other language on the planet. Yeah, see, you're surprised. Girl, can you imagine? I was super surprised. And I didn't understand how the whole country is the size of Texas, but there are 3 other co-official languages besides Spanish in different regions. The food is different. The landscape is different. The architecture is different. When I go there, it feels almost like going to really another country. And that really surprised me. I had no idea.
Okay, thank you, Serene. Nisha, what about you and Saudi? You have to unmute your mic when you talk.
Yes. So I think something well, first off, there was multiple things. I didn't know what to start. Well, this one is kind of funny. I say funny now, but I'm sure. I was in the airport one day coming to Saudi Arabia, and I was nervous. Like I had heard all these things in the media, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And I remember this lady coming, and she was also going to Saudi Arabia, and she had on this full black abaya, gloves, and this is summertime. And she had her face completely covered, like this, in the airport, in all black. And I'm like terrified, looking at her like, oh my God, I'm going to be suppressed and oppressed there. Like, what am I doing? I was so terrified getting on the plane to come here because of the women and how I saw them coming. Like, that scared the shit out of me.
Spell it.
I was so scared. But then when I got here, I saw it's not that bad when it comes to this, And I would definitely say the way even the infrastructure, the streets are made. Like she said, there's no communities for housing. So because most places outside of America, they aren't built on a capitalist system, you will find literally so many houses. Like when you're on the highway, you are looking at passing people's apartments and villas, and it's just crazy to me. Some people even have a store downstairs and they live upstairs, and they have workers and drivers. Like, I cannot believe that I was being catered with drivers and a maid. I don't like calling them maids, but a live-in housekeeper. I had all this stuff available to me. And as women in America, people like to make us believe that we don't deserve luxury. We don't deserve to be pampered. If you are giving birth to a child or a baby, they feel that, oh, you got to be a strong Black woman. You don't need no help. But from here, it was completely different. I had so much support. And even though when I did come, I couldn't drive, I had a driver, which I prefer. I had a driver, I still have a driver who waits for me hand and foot. I call him and I say, I need to go to the market. Can you take me? Or if I don't want to go, he'll go for me and deliver it to my door. So these were the biggest surprises. And everything that people tried to make, oh, Saudi Arabia, women can't drive, this and that. I'm so happy they have their rights to drive now, but it wasn't like they wasn't being compensated. They had live-in drivers, chauffeurs waiting for them. They can be in the mall or wherever for hours, and you just have this person sitting waiting for you. Now, who gonna complain about that? If it was me to drive now, I tell my husband all the time, I don't want to drive. Pamper me. Send the driver to me. So those were the
Well,
biggest surprises, but I have adjusted well, honey.
because you a diva, Nisha. Okay? You, by the way, ladies, I cannot wait. I know we're going to all meet in Dubai and we're going to have this conversation in person and give it because I have to just say, I am so happy for the internet. I'm so happy for Corona to have time to do this. I'm so happy to meet you, Serene. I almost want to cry because it's just so beautiful to see in our elements. I'm in Israel. I converted to Judaism. I knew I would one day live here. I didn't know how. And it has been, for me, just a blessing. It's been such a learning experience. I've had to put a lot of me aside to learn to live. And I think because growing up in America and being Black, and I'm from LA, you know what I'm saying? I know you guys are Southern girls, but I am a Los Angeles born and raised Cali girl. And thank God sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know how I would have done it here in Israel because we some fools. We some fools abroad. We live our lives. Abroad, people, America, we're like, nah, 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 nah. And like Nisha, I see you making it in this Saudi because you're a queen. Honey, I'm like, look at this queen. She'd be like, huh, bring me. Well, I see all her luxurious goods and it fits. And Serena, I'm just meeting you and knowing you, and you seem like, talking to you, you seem very much about the culture as well. But we're able to live, and this is what I want people to see. That there is life abroad with it's not free of kinks and bumps. Lord knows I've had mine in Israel. But we're able to live, and this is something that I don't think people will ever understand unless they step out.
Me, a lot of it was like you said, there are kinks and bumps and adaptability, but there's a weird value in being visibly foreign, because in lots of in European countries in general, there's a lot of times you can kind of look at someone and say, oh, their ancestors might be German or Swedish or Spanish. And when they look at me, they immediately tell that if I'm not, first or second generation, I'm probably first, second, maybe third generation here. Probably. And I am. I'm fresh off the boat. But that gives them a little bit more patience when dealing with me. And I've noticed the opposite in the States a lot of times. Like when I speak and my Spanish isn't perfect, because it's not, they are patient. They don't try to put words in my mouth. I've never heard anybody say, you need to speak Spanish if you're going to live here. Like in America, that why don't you speak English? Like that, nothing even close to that.
That's our ignorance.
Nothing even close to that. And that's wonderful. I'm incredible. Like if I make little mistakes, little faux pas that are cultural, I find out later, often through friends afterwards, of like, okay, maybe that wasn't, because they do. My friends help me and they teach me, because I tell them if I do something wrong, if I say something wrong, please tell me, because this is life now, and I want to be comfortable, and I want the people around me to be comfortable.
As you should.
But they're so patient and understanding, because they can look at me and say, probably not from here. Her family might not be from here. Let's give her a break. And as a Black person in America, it's the opposite.
Right.
When they look at you, they don't give you a break.
Right. That is, say it louder for the people in the back.
You know what I'm saying? Like when they look at you, your skin tone, my son is 6'2" and a young Black man. He's immediately a threat in the States.
On site.
Immediately. But here, first when they see him, they're trying to figure out where he's from, but it's never rude. And then when he speaks, he has kept his slightly American English accent when he speaks Spanish. I've heard him do both. He can speak Spanish without an accent, but he speaks it with an accent because he said the girls like it.
Come on, boo. Nisha, what about you, Nisha?
Well, referring to the kinks and bumps when living abroad, I think the biggest for me has just been adjusting. You know, I haven't experienced some crazy experience like I would have in America. I just never had a bad experience. And I just want people to know that I think a lot of people are like caught up in this social media world. And they think that they have to be a YouTuber or have a huge following to even travel to experience other places. I don't know. I see that a lot. You know, like when I'm talking to people, they're like, well, you know, it'll be easier, especially like when meeting men abroad. Like, I feel like I have to do this and do that. No, just be yourself. You don't have to have this fake body like you see on social media. You don't have to have no thousands and thousands of followers. Just be yourself and book the flight. Go and enjoy yourself. And you never know who you're going to meet, you know? You can meet, like, me and Shia, we met over a Cardi B post. So I'm happy for that. And that was, and you know, that was just like interacting on social media. But I have met so many wonderful people from Morocco to Egypt to Turkey to Dubai. Like I have friends all over. So if I was too scared to ever leave America, if I would have told my husband, no, I don't want to leave, and I lived in that fear, I won't be living my best life right now. So my advice is don't even worry about the kink and bumps because they will be minimum, you know, comparing to America. So just book your flight. You don't worry about anything else and go and enjoy yourself. Even if you are a solo traveler as a woman, typically it's usually safe. Always do your research, but it's usually safe to travel by yourself. That's my input.
Thank you so much. And yes, I actually, some of my best friends that I'm friends with to this day that we met online, we met on the internet, and I definitely plan on YouTube being meeting up and being part because the connector is our soul, and that we may not be exactly the same. Like, I'm Jewish, I live in Israel. Serene also Jewish, living in Spain. In Nisha, you're Christian, yes? Living in Saudi Arabia, but none of that effing matters. None of that matters because our connector is that we just want to live. We want to be with one another. And for me, that's the labels that people put on me that I have to, that doesn't mean anything because I want to connect with humanity. And this right now is humanity. This is us saying our common connector is living. We want to just live life. And there's another question for other Black people, and I know a lot of people have asked me and come into my DMs, and I want to hopefully do this again. I know Serene is traveling for work, and Nisha, you're always available. I'm always available because we're a little bit more, remote in our house or whatever. But remote from the bathroom to the kitchen. But I want, please give other Black people that are really serious about moving abroad and living some advice, so this is what I have for, what advice do you have, or tips for other black folk looking to do the big black exit? Who going first? Go ahead. Serene.
Okay.
Oh, Nisha, you want to, Nisha, you take it first.
So for me, my advice will be to know that you will get homesick. As bad as America is, you will get homesick. You will miss, whether it's your cornbread, collard greens, or something. You will get homesick. So maybe because I didn't do this. Well, I did do it. Let me tell you, I moved to Morocco and I lived there for maybe 8 months, and then I got very sad. I got so sad, and I was pregnant, and I just up and left my husband. I did. I just said, I want to go back to America. I miss my mom. I was just so sad. So he was just like, okay, he can't tell me no. So he booked my flight, and I went back to America because I was so homesick. And then when I got back to America, I missed my husband. And I wanted to get back so fast. And I was like, why did I come back? So I would say you need to, like, before you make the big exit, you know, and when you do leave, try to plan a small trip back, maybe take some of your favorite things with you because, just little foods and stuff that I was missing, like grits or cornbread, like sweet cornbread. I was missing like little things, and it was just depressing, So you got to make sure when you go, you take baby steps. Maybe you go and you just travel for a month or something at a time, 2 weeks even. You see if you like the place. And then you go back home and you think about it a little bit more because the worst thing is moving all your stuff abroad and then having to go back. And then be stuck like I was for about 3 months because I was just so irrational and pregnant and emotional. And I just want to go to see my mom. I just want my mom's food. I want to see my grandma. And then when I got there, I'm like, okay, I've seen everybody. Now I want to go back. So that would be my biggest advice. And the second one would probably be just don't have fear and don't think of what if something happens, because fear will stop you. Having fear will stop you. And let me tell you, had I told my husband in the airport when I saw that lady, I do not want to go to Saudi Arabia, I'm scared, and I would have got on another flight home, that would have been the biggest mistake of my life. My children are so happy abroad. They have some amazing educational systems, and they are bilingual. Now, in America, I'm sure there are some Black kids, speaking multiple languages, but not on the level that it should be, not comparing to like other places in the world. In most schools here, they teach Arabic and English, French, and they're going to start learning Japanese soon. So where they going to do that at? Where they do that at in America? Huh? Where they do that at? They're not doing that. So, like I'm raising bilingual kids. Serena's raising bilingual kids.
Yes.
And the biggest thing is people think that Americans are ignorant because we don't speak more than one language. And that's kind of true. We're like the only kind of people who don't speak more than one language. And I'm trying to be in that club, honey. Yeah, we think we don't need to. And don't be afraid to leave your friends and family behind. You can't take everyone with you. Some people going to be doing the same things that they were doing when you left. I go back home now, some people doing the same things. So don't hold yourself back because your best friend, she want to go shake it behind in a club. I'm telling you, go live your best life abroad. Because I advocate to my sisters, to my brothers, come abroad, come live abroad. Life is amazing here. So that would be my advice.
Okay, Serene, what you hold, Serene? Thank you.
Say, I love what Nisha just said. Yes, somebody had a T-shirt online the other day that said, "Don't argue with someone Harriet would have left behind." Yes. Like, oh my goodness. This is what I'm talking about. So, sometimes you do have to let other people stay where they are in order to allow yourself to grow and flourish. You are absolutely right about the being multilingual. And people say, oh, my kids are really young. That's even better. They're little sponges. They absorb it. We put so many limitations on our kids. We don't even know what they're capable of until we allow them to try. My oldest son was 12 when we moved here. He's 15 now. My younger son was 8. And since moving here, like you said, in school, we lived in Basque Country for 2 years. So they learn Basque. Here in Valencia, they also have to have Valenciano for school. So they speak English, Spanish, Basque, Valenciano. My oldest son is learning French because in high school they offer French. It's crazy. And you don't realize what they can do until you let them give them this opportunity. It's a gift that they will cherish for the rest of their lives. They will also see how we're scared a lot of times because our parents were scared. We're scared because our parents were scared and they didn't move. They didn't leave. So seeing mama or daddy have the courage to leave a toxic environment and try something new can give them the courage later in life to not stay in bad situations, whether it be anything, a relationship, a job, friendships, so many things. The biggest tip I would give someone is try to plan and prepare as best as you can. Hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And give it at least minimum 6 months before you make any other decisions, before you even really reevaluate. Go somewhere, live, absorb the culture, give it a real chance. Give it a real chance for 6 months to a year. That first 2 months we were here was hell. We didn't speak the language. I thought my high school American Spanish was going to help. It did not. We didn't know how anything worked. Even figuring out the buses, like everything. It was awful. And I kept saying, oh my goodness, what did I do? I brought my whole family here. What was I thinking? But after the first 2 months and we got into a daily rhythm, that was incredible. And my marriage was not suffering before. Let me say that first. But this has brought us even closer together than I ever would have imagined. Going through something like this together, where people always say, it's you and me, baby. It's just you and me against the world. When you first move to a foreign country, that's a little bit what it feels like. And you form a bond that is born out of like survival and strength and progress that I don't know in any other situation that it's possible. People joke you have a baby to stay together. No, move abroad and then you see what your relationship is made of. But no, every day coming home is my haven. It's the place where I can relax. And I have deep, long conversations with my husband because we have the time. And I didn't have the time before. Everything was go, 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 move, move. But here, every Friday we have off together. We go to the beach. We go on walks. We walk up this mountain that's right behind our house. We go on dates every week. I never did that in the States every week. But the kids go to school and we bond. And it has been incredible for our whole family. Even the kids, the way they are more kids with other kids, they go outside and play at the park without us. Hello. In the States, that was not allowed. But here, their little friends can come and ring the doorbell and can can he come out to play? Yeah, he can go out to play. What park are y'all going to be at? What time are you going to be back? You got 2 hours. You need to check in. Okay, love you. Bye. That doesn't happen in the States anymore. They don't let it happen. They're scared. But here, the town, I'm going to show you my town again real fast. The whole town, I can walk from side to side of this town in about 12, 13 minutes. So I know where they are and I can go to them. They can go to like 3 or 4 different parks they usually go to, and they get to be kids. So yeah, no, give it a chance, a real chance. And that's my best advice. Plan and give it a chance. Oh, sorry, I'm in Spain. I'm in right outside of Valencia, Spain, 30 minutes away in a town called Sagunto. So I'm in Spain.
I just want to add, when you're moving abroad, find things that you're interested in doing. You know, you don't have to give up who you are. So make sure that when you pick an area or a country to live in, there's something of interest of you. And if that place doesn't have anything of your interest, you can find a new interest. There's so many like cool things. Like I got into baking here, and I told my mom always I wasn't gonna cook or anything, but now I love to bake, and I'm surprising myself, you know. And in America, I used to in university I studied biology with a minor in theater. So obviously, I don't have my outlet for theater here, and I need a creative outlet. And I'm a very creative person. So what do I do in Saudi Arabia? Well, now I'm trying to start my own business. You know, something that I can just have a little creative outlet and still make a little money from it, honey. So my advice would also to be
Hold on,
try
let me
to do
unmute
something.
myself. Yes, yes.
So make sure, you know, if you like sewing, take sewing. If you want to go to a country that's big for baking, do that. If you like to go to museums, do it. Anything that you can't necessarily do in America, and you got to worry about a lot of Karen showing up, try to do it abroad when you do move. You know, it can be life changing, and it's also liberating. You feel so much freedom to be who you are. As Black women in America, we put so much pressure on how Black women should act, how they should talk, how they should speak, how they should dress. And I don't know, for some reason, people think we come with a lot of stereotype. Baby, I am not your stereotype. What you think you know about me, you do not know about me. You know, so I'm happy that I live in a place where I am free to be who I am. You know, I'm probably not free to walk around. Well, actually, now you can remove the abaya and walk outside. You know, it's fine. I see women doing it all the time, you know? But for me, you know, I want to wear my hair in crazy colors. I don't think I'm to that point yet to, you know, walk around with pink hair, but I'm still free to be who I want to be. Okay. So go somewhere where you can enjoy who you are without having people place judgments on you. Okay. That's it. That's it, baby.
I have to say it as well. You know, one thing about me being in Israel, like, you know, first of all, I'm gonna be me regardless, but literally, no, I'm walking around at 5 a.m. I'm living now. What you will find is culturally, like if I go, let's say, to some really, really religious area, first of all, I'm going to cover up out of respect for me respecting their space. It's not about everything that you can do, you shouldn't do, and that's where what we forget. Being American, we come with this privilege. I can do, but you shouldn't have. If I walk, like I'm going to Jerusalem today for Shabbat, I'm going to, you know, a really secular area. But if I were going to a really religious area, I'm still gonna, like even now, you know, I'm gonna teach a class in a bit, but I normally wear half tops. I'm a hoochie mama, but I'm gonna be respectful because that's for me the right way to be for humanity. It's not about, I can do what I want. I can do what I want, and most of the time I do. But part of being respectful and living abroad is also being respectful of the culture. And I was colonized, but I'm not a colonizer. And people do this all the goddamn on time with Israel. I want to come and show the people how to live. Mind your business. You cannot come here. I'm not gonna go to Saudi Arabia and be like, I don't need to worry about. I'm gonna rock an abaya. I'm gonna get a fly one. I'm gonna put me some little ta 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 ta, and I'm gonna live my best life because that's the culture. And I can still be me within the culture and be respectful. And that is what I will tell you, people that are born with a privilege. And I'm talking about privilege of skin, privilege of where you're from. What we in the United States do the most is we love to take what we have and put it on other people. And that's not what we're going to do here. We're going to embrace and love. I didn't come to Israel for them to do anything for me. I'm doing for myself. I came here to bring something, and that's just love and self-respect and respecting the people who have been here way before me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what a lot of people do not do. So I love that Nisha said, I'm taking up different hobbies because you learn you who you are. You only until 18, that's a short part of your life. From 18, 19 to let's say 70, you're an adult much longer than you're a child. And so we need to take these things and let ourselves evolve. We evolve as human beings. What I liked 2 years ago, I may not like or appreciate as much now. Things I didn't like or loved, it's these evolving. And when you're abroad, being Black, I'm sorry, you're able to do that. You're able to do it. And this is what I unapologetically love. And this is what I will tell. And you're right, everybody ain't meant to be abroad. All Black folk can't leave. I'm sorry. All Black folk ain't meant to be abroad because we still have our own traumas. And sometimes Black folk bring the trauma with them. I have literally a friend, and she knows I talked to her about, she will call people that have white skin white. And I'm not like, they're not white. They're from Russia. They're Moroccan. Don't call them white. Their skin will be white. But let's allow people to have their culture. Let's not colonize people's culture by their skin tone because that's what we do in the US. It's a lot of learning to be learned abroad. This is a big classroom. I'm going to mute myself and ask.
Okay, I guess I'll take that one. Of course, I miss the States sometimes. It's where I grew up. It's where I'm from. It's where I'm comfortable. I miss being able. Well, first of all, I miss knowing how things work. Having to be an adult and adulting in itself is difficult. Doing it in another country in another language can be a whole nother level. But it's all about risk versus benefits. So yes, I miss the US. I miss the food. I miss the energy. I grew up in Atlanta, so there is that, down south energy where trap music was born and fried chicken and block parties and twerking and everything. Girl, I miss it. People say, that, I don't know, I assumed Spanish people have rhythm and they're whole Europeans. Most of them don't. So I do miss a lot of those aspects. But would I trade it for the time that I have with my husband and children and for myself? I have time for myself, more time to figure out who I am, what I want, and do the things I love. That would and the safety and the quality of life, would I trade all that for twerking? No. No, I'm sorry. I I visit. I still visit, and that's enough for me. It's enough to visit, and not obviously not right now. But in general, it's enough to visit for a little while every year and to go see my family, bring home those comfort foods that Nisha was mentioning, bring home little pieces of home, little ingredients. I got my Lowry seasoned salt in the kitchen. Um, I was bringing home cream of wheat until I found out they have a comparable substitute here, just different spices and hot Cheetos. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. So no, I bring home things. Now this is home. I bring home things from where I used to live to help with that. And I visit my family, and technology is amazing. You can still talk to and see your family every day. I feel like I talk to my mom more now that I live here than I did when I lived in the States. Yes, see? Kaya's like, yeah, me too. It's because I have time. I have time to like actually connect with people again. It's crazy. Imagine that. So yes, I miss it, but at this point, going back to live, that now moving here seemed really hard and insurmountable. Now the idea of living in the United States again seems real hard and insurmountable. Like I don't see it. That's it.
For me, I would say I miss things like, and maybe I miss the smell of a place, like going to get my nails done, on a Friday in the acrylic shop, or I miss like just my sisters coming over, we have dinner together, or I miss those times where I'm not sad or anything, but I just want to lay on my mama's bed, So there's moments that I miss more than anything. Not necessarily the whole living in America experience. I would say no to that. But as Serene said, we are also from Black culture, and Black culture influences everything. And the heart of Black culture is definitely in the South or in America, But in the South, because I'm a Southern girl too, from Albany, so of course, it's like a different vibe that you get that you can't really find anywhere else. But you just have to know that this is just who I am. So wherever I go, this will be with me. It's not worth it to go back home to line up at a club and do some twerking. I mean, at this age, who wants to? There's just more things to experience at this point. You can link up with your girlfriends on a weekend and just get that over with. Now, that's enough. So I would definitely say I do not miss America. I miss moments. I miss places, like my mom's bed, just sitting in there talking to her, or standing up with my siblings, very late, or something like this. But Serene, they ain't got hot Cheetos. They don't have hot Cheetos.
They don't. I just paid. You don't even want to know.
I know. The taxes are high.
Okay, so if I really want them, there is a place called Taste of America I can order them from. It's 15 euros, so like $17 for 2 bags.
Wow.
So what I did last year was I did an entire suitcase, literally a full size check bag full of hot Cheetos that were then in Ziploc bags. And the TSA guy, not the TSA, the counter guy, he picked it up and he was like, "This is a little bit light. I don't even need to weigh this one." And he jokingly said, "The other one was so heavy. What's in this one?" I was like, "Hot Cheetos." And he's like, "Yeah, no, just hot Cheetos."
So
hot Cheetos and butterscotch chips.
If we go to Dubai, you'll find everything you need. So don't worry.
That I do miss. And if you want to come here, we got acrylic nail salons. We have all that. That's what you were saying. Find somewhere not only that you can do something that you love, but has the things that you feel are necessary for you to live your best life. Yes. I made a list before we bought a house here. After living here for 2 years, I made a list I said I need to be within walkable distance to a library, a health center, parks, grocery stores, a pool, a sports center, and public schools. That sounds like a lot, but here it's very possible. And within 10 minutes or 15 minutes drive to a real hospital. And I got all of it. But you have to know what you're
Wow.
looking for. So
Okay. So I'm gonna mute you.
You muted your mic, Shia.
Sorry guys, we're coming up on an hour, and this is so magical, and I definitely want us to do it again. And I know whatever way we're gonna all meet up together, we're gonna ask a couple of questions. But what I am gonna have us close is each of us saying something loving in our language, in the language of the place that we live. You can say goodbye. You can say have a good day. You can say thank you for listening. It can be choppy, it can be clear, but I want people to understand that not only are we ourselves, we are some African based Black queens living abroad, but we're also embracing the culture where we're living. Because what Nisha said was so important, was that we can be ourselves. Be yourself. I'm not from the South. I lived in Texas, but I'm born and raised in Pasadena, California. So I'm a bit of a Cali girl, but I live by the beach. It is very important for me to live by the sea, because this is what makes me feel a little bit like home. Being a Cali girl in Texas, I didn't feel like home, even though I was married to a Texan and I had a baby with a Texan. But I'm a Cali girl 100%. So the Mediterranean suits me well, everything from the food and living by the sea. However, when I speak Hebrew, it sounds like a Black girl from LA. And I'm going to do it when we're so. I'm going to first, just one more question about it. We had Serene had a really good question here, and I don't know if you guys want to answer it, but if you do, put your thumb up and I'll let you answer it, about the difference between Black American and white Americans. I think we should do it again, and maybe we can answer that question. If you want to answer it now, put your thumb up. Let me know. I don't. Okay, so Nisha, if you want to answer, you're gonna unmute your mic, and then after that, we're gonna just close with our language.
Shia, your mic is still muted.
So if you want to answer this question, and then we'll just finish with just saying something loving, and or something that we want. You can say it in English and in your language that you want people to take away. And I definitely want to start by saying I would love to do this again. We're having a lot of viewers come. We're getting a lot of love here. So Nisha, if you want to start with answering this question.
I think the reason that less Black Americans move abroad, you know, I think it would be because of fear. Our other people in America, you know, maybe they were a little bit more established or a little bit more open minded. Maybe they have more resources that encourage them to travel. Maybe a lot of people grew up going to Mexico or Paris with their grandparents or this and that, you know, so that encouraged them to travel. But as Black Americans, I don't think I've ever met in my time being in America. And I left when I was very young. I was only 20, 21 when I left America. So I don't think I ever met a Black American who lived abroad. I think I heard of one, but I never, in our community, is something unheard of. That's like taking on a really big risk or a really big change, you know? And we get so comfortable with just being around all that we've known, you know, like we're afraid to leave. That's what I think it would be. It would be fear, you know, fear it or and maybe fear of being inadequate. Like, do I not have the funds to do this? But you have the funds to do everything else you want. You know, I talk to my sister all the time and she say, I don't have the money for that. And I'm sure she does because, you know, you spend money on so many other things. It's just what you make it, you know, a priority to be. So it could be that, or it could be just fear of leaving everything that you ever known. And that's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to there's nothing to lose, but you have everything to gain. You know, you can't just stay in a stagnant position in life where you think that, oh, I want to, and you want to dream of going to other places. Nothing is holding you back. Just do it. White people, excuse me, Caucasian people do it all the time. Spanish people do it all the time. When I travel, I see so many different kinds of people speaking so many different languages around me. And you know, whenever I do see a person of color, or an African, one time I was in Turkey and I was the only Black person in the resort, and the entertainers, they came from Africa, and you know, they did like aerobics and stuff like this, jumping through hoops and stuff. But guess what, when they see me and I seen them, you get a head nod, you get that I see ya. You know, you make sure that you see each other. So I would say, just don't have fear. Do not limit yourself in what you can do. You can do anything, literally anything. I know if I did, you can too. Okay, that's it. Yes.
I just want everybody to read my damn lips anyway. Serene, it's your turn. Thank you, Nisha. Thank you so much. I'm like, just in case somebody up in here is deaf, they'll be able to read my lip. Your turn, Serene.
I really don't have anything to add. I think Nisha said it perfectly. That especially when she, talked about parents, and unfortunately being a Black American comes with the heritage of slavery and that slave mentality that was literally torn into our skin. You better not leave. You better not go nowhere. Is still, they talk about generational trauma that's embedded in our DNA. So, and it's more than, it's so recent. People talk about it like it was 1,000 years ago, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I have a bed still in the States that my mother's keeping for me that was her grandmother's from when she was a slave. Like, that's not as far back as people like to pretend. So no, Nisha is 100% correct. It is just, unfortunately, they want to keep you in that place. Don't let them. Don't let them.
Wait.
I would just, okay.
You okay?
No, because I love how you said it as people like.
I couldn't hear you, honey.
I love how you say as people like to pretend. People like to pretend. They play. And we see you. We know. We know. That's all I'm going to say.
You said exactly what I wanted to say.
Because that's what America is pretending. You want to pretend like you don't see it, but we see that you see it. And we're not, for me, I have a very small, very, because America, by the way, is the continent. The country that we're from, just so everybody is clear, the country that we are from on the continent is the United States of America. And when I get United States of America people here in Israel, I have a small, because there's something that is a microaggress, especially if you come from being European American in the United States. And something that we don't have the luxury. We don't pretend because we're not allowed to have that privilege. So I'm really happy that you put that word out there. And at the end of the day, I'm so happy that we are abroad, because I believe that the spirit and the soul knows what it wants, and you know what you need. And there is generational trauma, and we're stopping it right now. However we're here, however we are where we are, we've set a precedent. Um, I do want to take one more comment. And I want to thank everyone that was listening okay? Because Dee is very interested in moving abroad as well. Because there's a lot of people that are scared. Nisha, I'm so glad that you just said, just do it. Be fearless. There's people are scared, and fear is the great liar. We're walking around with all this cortisol in our body because we're releasing all these fear into our bellies, and we're not moving. And we're living proof. I am here to say that you can do it. If you want it, go get it. Go do it. Enjoy something new. And I love what you said when you moved to Spain. What you missed was knowing what to do. But we can relearn it. We can relearn it. It's out there. If we want it, we can go get it. We have to go get it. We can't be stagnant. Nisha.
Yes, and I would also like to add to that, like we're all in three different countries, some big cities, some smaller. So there's a place for everyone. Just find somewhere that you would like to go. There's something, some place that will offer and cater to the things that you want for your life. You know, I love a very luxurious life. So I tend to go to places that offer luxurious, outlets. And I love to help people understand that you don't have to come to Saudi Arabia. You don't have to go to Israel. You don't have to go to Egypt. You can go anywhere. You can go to Asia. You can do anything you want. Don't think that, oh, I can only go to this place or that place. You can go to any place and make a life there. Shaya, we can't hear. Shaya, we can't hear.
Oh, guys, sorry. Thank you for being so. Oh, guys, sorry. Thank you for being so. So we're gonna shut it down. So we're gonna shut it down. We're each going to. And I'm gonna start with Serene.
¿Qué tú crees? Hay una vida mejor que es posible, pero tienes que hacer lo primero paso. Tú mismo. Nadie más. Besos.
Okay, shukran. Shukran. I'm learning the language still. It's very difficult. So I'm going to say shukran mubin masalama.
שלום לכולם, אני חייב, אני ממש מתרגשת, אני חברות סרין ונישה, אני אוהבת אתכן. הם ממש ממש יפים, יפות. תודה רבה לכולם, תודה רבה. עוד מעט אנחנו פה. We're going to come back and do this again. Bezrat Hashem with the hand of God. Thank you so much. תודה רבה סרין. ותודה רבה נישה. תודה רבה הכל. Everybody, thank you so much. Let's give some love. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Nisha, Serene, stay with us. Bye guys. Thank you.